All right, we back. It's the Chop Shop Podcast. DJ Jewels, Queen G, DJ Nesto.
What's up, y'all? What you guys doing?
Yeah,
Oh, chilling. How you guys feeling?
Oh, I'm feeling
nice
good,
and
bro.
warm.
Yeah, what's up with the shades, bro? You look like you're
Hey,
feeling
bro.
good with
Hey, you
those
know me.
shades
I
on.
always feel good, bro.
You're feeling yourself. You're feeling yourself.
Don't hate.
I ain't want the glasses.
Don't hate. You just
Hey,
a
where can I
hater.
get those, dog?
Hey,
Yeah.
they're exclusive, bro.
Shoot it, bro.
They're
Shoot
exclusive,
it.
bro. They're made just for me, bro.
Oh, okay. Watch out.
Yeah,
Watch
exclusive
out.
for DJ Nesto.
All right. Looking all nesty in those
Nasty,
shades,
you know what
bro.
I'm saying? Nasty. Nasty, zesty.
Hey, so guess what, man? We got. Hey, this is for real. When we first started our podcast,
Damn, I can't believe it, bro. I can't believe it.
This guest right here was supposed to be our official first guest.
I can't believe it,
He was
dog.
gonna launch it for us, but then things happen, situations and stuff like that. But I'm glad
Somebody
that it
pinched
didn't
me.
happen.
Somebody pinched me.
Yeah. Pinch him. Pinch him.
I got you, dog.
Somebody pinched me. Somebody pinched me. Am I a liar?
No, but you know what? I'm glad it didn't happen because we are in this nice, beautiful Rafa production studio
Rafa
now.
Let's go.
So now it is only right that we are sitting with
Official.
official hustler, official talented entrepreneur. We're talking songwriter, MC, producer, engineer. Did I say entrepreneur? I did say that, right?
Yeah.
Oh, I'm gonna say it again.
Entrepreneur.
You know what I'm saying?
Entrepreneur.
The one and only Mike Storm is in
Mike
the
Storm.
building.
What up? What up?
Hey, what's up, bro?
What's up, man? Thank y'all for having me. I appreciate
Bro,
y'all
how
for
you
having me in the
feeling,
building.
bro?
I feel great, man. It feels good to be here. I know we've been talking about it for a long
Yes,
time,
sir.
trying to connect the dots and
Yes,
line it up,
sir.
and we're here, man.
Yes.
So it feels good, man. And I thank you guys for having me. It's an
Oh
honor.
man, no, thank you for coming through, man. Man, bro, trying to keep up with you is like trying to keep up with like the Kardashians
Yeah.
or something.
You're a celebrity,
Like,
bro.
you need your own
Keep up with the
reality.
stories.
You need your own
Yeah,
reality
bro.
show, bro. Like,
You can check me out on the Weather Channel.
you know what I'm saying? I'm just like,
Zen.
like, no, but I love it, man. I love following you on social media and on, Facebooks and all that, because you're always doing something, bro. You're always either performing or, you're selling merch or you're doing music videos or something, bro.
Yeah.
What does a day consist of for Mike Storm? Like, I'm just kind of like,
There's not really a
on 'em.
routine day for me. It kind of just whatever's going on. There's a lot, like whether I'm mixing a song. So I'll go home after this, probably hit the studio. I got to mix a couple songs for
we'll get
an
a burrito
artist.
first and then hit the studio.
Yeah,
you know what I'm saying?
yeah. Grab a couple beers real fast. and
Yeah,
shit.
yeah,
hang out with a couple friends, and then
Yeah.
Get
go hit the
inspiration.
studio. You know what I'm saying?
That's
so,
right, bro.
it's kind of what the day brings, and I kind of just flow with it, and whatever happens. It's definitely always for me. It feels like I'm running a race. You know what I'm saying? Because I just don't know where I'm gonna be, or sometimes I gotta pace myself, or sometimes I gotta move a little faster. So, just staying in motion, staying moving. There's not really a dedicated plan to my days.
Right. You're just going.
Whatever I tackle, I gotta tackle. We're
just
playing
moving.
the game.
That's what's up. That's
Yeah.
what's up.
It's probably better that way. It's
Yes.
probably better that way. You're kind of just doing what you got to do, because when you try to like plan every single thing you're doing for the day, that gets a little exhausting sometimes.
script, you just
no
roll with it.
script.
Yeah. I mean, it just depends. If what we're doing, if I'm going on tour,
Yeah.
then I'm like, I super plan everything. You know what I'm
You had
saying?
everything
Like,
laid out.
oh yeah, we're staying at this hotel. We'll get there in 8.5 hours.
Get something to eat.
Yeah,
Sleep.
Yeah.
I know where we're eating at.
Yeah.
Exactly. So it kind of just depends on what we're doing.
Yeah.
But the normal day to day is just whatever's on the table that day.
That's
We're
right.
eating. So.
Dope. So we've known you for a few years now. You know what I
Right.
mean? We've
Yeah.
done a lot of events together, and you've always been a cool dude and hell of a performer. Your
Thank
music is off the chain, bro.
Hell
You
yeah.
know what I'm saying?
Hell yeah.
So, I always say this: if we get a chance to really sit down and get to know the person, though, because like we know you, but we don't know you.
Right.
But I did my research on you, bro.
There we go.
And you got a hell of a story, bro.
Hell yeah.
You got a hell of a story.
I got
You-
a lot to talk about.
You are very seasoned. You are very seasoned in this industry.
Right.
You know what I'm saying? So you were born in Torrance, California?
Yes, sir.
Yes.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah,
Yes.
UCLA Medical Center.
That's what's
in
up.
Torrance. Yeah.
That's what's up.
Bruins?
Yeah. Hey, I hung out there a little bit.
That's what's up, man. That's what's up. So how much time did you spend in Torrance? Were you just born there?
I'm not much. Yeah, just born there. You know what I'm saying? I didn't spend a lot of time there. I consider myself a SoCal boy. I've been like pretty much everywhere, lived everywhere. Mom's was always moving and bouncing around.
Yeah.
I've lived in Venice. I've lived in Simi Valley. I've lived you know, out here, even as I got older, I kept moving myself around. I've lived in Van Nuys, I've lived in North Hollywood, I've lived in Hollywood.
Right.
You
Cali
know, so
boy,
just
straight Cali
everywhere.
boy.
Yeah. So I'm a
Damn.
SoCal boy. You know what I'm saying?
That's
like from
right.
the 805 to the 760 to
That's
the
what's
310
up.
to the 323 to the 213 to
That's
the,
right.
you know, we running it down, baby.
That's
you
what's
know?
up.
man.
That's
I
what's
love it.
up.
So what kind of kid were you growing up?
I was I'm just my own person. You know what I'm saying? I think I was more of a kind of nerdy kid. You know what I'm saying? Like wasn't really popular as a youngster. You know what I'm saying? I was just kind of like did my own thing.
did your own
And I
thing.
think that just comes with the nature of moving around and going so many places. You don't
so
have
shy.
people that you grew up with or people that you've known for 10 years. Or, oh, well, we went to elementary school. Now we're in middle school together. You know what I'm saying? Like,
Yeah, because you get close with people and then you
and then
gotta
I'm
move,
gone.
and
you
then
know?
you're gone. Yeah,
And
I
then
see
I'm
that.
gone. So I think that has a lot to do with it, and just depending on where I lived and what places I was, you know. But that molded me to who I am today, and kind of just makes a lot of situations in life easily approachable.
Yeah.
Because I just been through a lot, you know.
Yeah.
Hey, what inspired you to get into music? At what age?
My mom, it really introduced music to me. For me, she was just playing like a lot of just hip hop music. My mom played DMX and Snoop. And,
Damn.
you know what I'm saying? Busta Rhymes. And,
So she
Damn.
started,
you know,
yeah.
so like that's what I grew up on. You know what
Yeah.
I'm saying? Like it wasn't just something I found later in life. Like I grew up listening to, you know, West Coast gangster music or to DMX. You know what I'm saying?
hip-hop head,
Like
huh?
super real hip hop head. So. My mom definitely like brought the music into my life, and then I was just a listener then. And then as I got older, I was like, "Yo, wait, I want to participate. Like, how do we? What is a bar? How does bar strike? How do you write a song? You know, like what is it?
How do you write a hook?
How do we do it? Yeah, exactly. You know. So and then I had other friends that were making music or rapping, so I would just talk to them like, "Hey, what's up? How can I?"
Was your mother, was she involved in the entertainment business?
Yeah, my mama. Well, not music entertainment, but my mom was definitely in the entertainment business. Yeah, my mom was a professional wrestler. So, like WWF style
Well, all
professional
WWF.
wrestler.
That's my
really?
favorite.
Yes.
Damn, bro.
Yeah, so she did like WWF. She was on Discovery Channel.
Nice.
She trained with John Cena.
Wow.
She got her development deal with John Cena.
Damn.
You know what I'm saying?
I didn't know that.
Yeah, with Ultimate Pro Wrestling out of
Told him,
Orange
you can't
County.
see me, and then he took it, huh? He stole
Well,
it
he
from
was
him.
just a whole different person then. You know what I mean?
You can't see me.
He was a whole different person then. You know,
Okay.
he wasn't even John Cena
Before
then.
he popped
yeah,
off, popped
yeah, he
off.
had a whole different
crazy, huh?
he had a whole different character and stuff like that. So it's
Yeah.
just like kind of like, you know, music is people have different they grow into different names of themselves or, you know, and he grew into John Cena, you know?
Yeah.
So
That's
I heard that
crazy.
she worked in the House of Blues.
Yeah. Yep, she did security
The
at the
legendary House of Blues.
Yeah, my mom did security at House of Blues.
So were you around any of that type of
Nah,
environment at all?
unfortunately, I was too young. I mean, there was only the one time I was there, and that was for DMX when he was with Rough Riders, like the Rough Rider days. That was like the first.
Like when he was like at his
at his
peak.
And,
At his
and
peak.
my mom
That's
took me
crazy.
in there on Sunset, and I watched DMX perform, like
That
live
perform.
performance, Rough Rider days. You know what I'm saying?
Damn,
Like,
all right.
and that was. I was like, what is going
Your
on?
mind just went.
Yeah,
Yeah. This is
exactly.
This is
yeah,
what I
is-
want. I mean,
Yeah, and you know,
Especially his energy too. Like
Yeah.
nobody performs better
So-
than DMX.
Exactly.
right. And I feel
And
like
rest in
I kind of
peace,
took a
DMX.
little
Yes.
bit. I feel like, you know, because I feel like everybody's a piece of a puzzle, you know,
Exactly.
and or a pot of soup. There's a little bit of seasoning or a piece that comes from everything.
Yeah.
And I feel like I kind of took some of that. Even when I perform, I'm a little, you know, just a
Yeah.
little bit more in your face, you know. And
Yeah.
I think that comes from the DMX,
Yeah.
you know, because I always was like Rough Rider, you know, as growing up, I'm like,
Yeah.
yo, this is my shit. You know
Kind
what
of
I'm
like
saying?
inspiration.
For sure.
Yeah.
For sure.
Wow.
We got to have somebody to look up to. You know what I'm
Exactly.
saying? We all do.
Exactly.
Yeah, yeah. He was. I talk about DMX all the time because, you know, when Pac died, I was too young
Right.
to really witness Pac. I think I
That's
had to
crazy.
been like in first grade, second grade.
Okay.
So I didn't really see Pac, but I saw DMX.
Right.
See, DMX was kind of like our Tupac.
Okay.
You know what I'm saying?
Right.
So he was like a big part of my life, DMX. You know what I'm saying? I love Pac. You know what I mean?
Well, I mean, Pac is my favorite artist.
Yeah, he's my
You know what
favorite
I'm
artist,
saying?
too.
Of all, of
Yeah,
all.
yeah.
I
Of all
remember
time.
where I was when I can tell you, I could take you to the place I sat down and cried when I found out Pac died.
Really?
As a middle school kid. You know what I'm
Yeah.
saying? I remember exactly where I was and everything. Like that was just that was a big one for me.
Yeah.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? That was our, it was the West Coast. That was
Yeah.
our king at the
Yeah.
time. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah. Well, that's dope. Like you said, like your mom introduced you to a lot of different sounds, different artists, and all that stuff. So, you become versatile like that.
Right.
Because, hip hop is one of those genres where they sample different genres.
Right. Yeah. Everything.
Soul,
There's no
country.
limits.
There's no limits.
No. Yeah.
So a lot of people don't know when they're listening to hip hop, they're really listening to everything.
Yeah,
And they don't
exactly.
even know it.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? And you're a producer.
Right.
So you know the sonics of sound and hip hop and all that. So I heard that you went into a music school.
Yes. So I went to Musicians Institute in Hollywood
Nice.
for an
MI.
engineering program. You know what I'm saying? So I do produce music. I don't do it a lot. It's not like a main focus for me. But if we need some insight on a song or a producer's not around, you know what I'm saying? I can put a beat together.
Oh,
You know
that's
what I'm saying?
wow.
Or we can make sure we can get a beat down that we could lay something down to, and then later on we could bring some musicians in and kind of form, build around that.
That's what's
But
up.
yeah, I did Musicians Institute in Hollywood next to the Ripley's Museum.
Yeah, I went to go visit that school one time. I was trying to get enrolled in there. Me and Vinny
There we go.
went over there one time and we checked it out. It was dope.
Yeah.
You know what I'm
no,
saying?
it was a fun place, man. I soaked up so much game and learned a lot from there. And just going there, like, created a path for my life I didn't even know was going to exist at the time. You know what I'm
Crazy.
saying? Like,
Yeah, that's what's up.
it took me a lot of places because it's just a connected school. So you just never know where it could take you. And then going there, and I went with one of my best friends. He went,
That's what's up.
I dropped out of high school. So my best friend at the time, he was a lot younger than me. He was graduating high school. And he was like, well, I'm just going to go straight out of high school.
Straight
I'm
to
going
there.
right into, and I was like, bruh, that wouldn't have been my decision at your age. And I was like, if you do that, I'll go back to high school. I'll graduate. I won't get my GED. I'll go back, I'll get my diploma, and I'll roll with you. And the day before I started Musicians Institute, I graduated high school.
That's what's up, bro. That's what's up. That's what's up.
That's what's up.
Yeah.
How long were you there? For the
I think
MI?
it was like a nine-month program.
Oh,
Yeah,
okay,
it's not a
okay.
very long
That's cool.
thing, you know what I'm saying? But yeah, I think it was like a nine-month program.
So by being in that environment at that school, I'm pretty sure you get to meet a lot of people. You get to network a lot, right?
Oh, for sure.
Especially people like on the come up. So I heard that you landed a gig with Snoop.
Yeah, so the same homie I was just talking about, he was the
Damn.
first to go over to Doggy Style.
Nice.
And he went over there. and I
Doggy
think-
Style Records?
Yes, yeah, with
Damn.
Snoop. So
What?
right over at the Crippin' Kitchen. You know what I'm saying? It was
yeah,
a
yeah,
studio
yeah.
right there in Hollywood, Central
That's-
Hollywood. It was
yeah.
called the Crippin' Kitchen.
Crippin' Kitchen, huh?
With a lot of
Damn.
legends worked out of, and it was dope, man. He hit me up maybe, I don't know, I think it was a long time ago, 2 to 3 weeks
Snoop?
after. No, my homie that was
okay.
working there. He was like,
Yeah.
yo, they have some more intern spots over here. You know what I'm saying? If you want to roll through,
We'll hook
you know,
up.
they like, I got you, bro. You know what I'm saying? Because that's my dog. You know what
Yeah.
I'm saying? So, we took care of each other and shit.
Yeah, yeah.
And he got me. First day I was there, Snoop walked in, and I was like, this shit is really happening right now.
Hey, bro, how was
Yeah.
it?
Amazing. Is a
Oh,
cool,
man.
super humble, super cool.
He's
treats
like,
ev-
hey, cuh.
Yeah.
What's up
Hey,
with that green haircut?
Damn, cut.
Nah, super cool, super humble, treats
Yeah.
everybody, you know what I'm saying?
Equal.
Like, equal, for sure.
That's
you
what's
know?
up, bro.
And I mean, you're an intern, so it takes time.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? It took a lot of time and a lot of work just to create those relationships.
Damn,
and-
bro,
and
we got a
put
legend
in
right here,
work
bro.
in.
We got a
Shit,
legend
man,
right
I'm
here,
just
bro.
like everybody else.
So
baby.
so when you're working in that environment with like Snoop, because everybody works with Snoop, everybody loves Snoop. Was there anybody that came through that you were in the studio with? Like, because
A few times. I mean, Brittany Murphy was a crazy one. Like
what?
I was just
Brittany
in.
Murphy, rest in
I was
peace.
super
Yeah.
rest in peace. I was just
Rest
in.
in
We were
peace.
just in the studio chilling, and that's the one thing when you work with Snoop and you work with somebody that's as legendary as he is and has such a big career like that. You just never know who's gonna walk into a
Yeah.
room. You know.
Yeah.
So that was one time I was like, wait, what?
yeah.
8 Mile Road? Like, what is going on?
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
And then she came in there to sing and killed it, bro.
Yeah.
Killed
Yeah.
it. You know what I'm saying? Just to show Snoop she could get out and stuff like
She
that.
was very talented.
Super
She
talented.
really
and the
was.
room was full. You know what I'm
Yeah.
saying? Like, mind you not, the room was full with a lot of huge other artists. You know what I'm saying? From Corrupt to, you know what I'm saying?
Damn.
Like Nate, you know, they were always around. There was a lot of people around. So to come into that room and you're watching 30, 40 people stare at you while you're getting down, like, Snoop, I want to sing, killing it. She came in and she bought it. I think that was a dope experience.
Dang,
Pimp C was definitely a big one for me. You know what I'm saying?
Legend Pimp C.
Yeah.
Pimp C was definitely a huge one for me, man. I super tripped out on that. Like, and he
That's
records,
crazy.
man. He works. And,
Yeah.
you know,
Super smart. He's like an intelligent. You know what I mean?
Use that brain.
Certain people think different ways.
Yeah,
and he
he's
was
one of those
definitely
people.
in one of those wavelengths that is just he on his own. You know what I'm saying? Like, and
Wow.
that was dope. That was
That's
super
tight.
dope. Yeah.
That's crazy, man.
And there's a lot more, but I mean, those are a couple of the instances.
So
where I
were
was just
you
like,
so
what?
were you like producing Snoop, or you doing the
No,
sounds?
I was
You're
interning.
engineering?
I was interning and engineering.
okay.
You know what I'm saying? So the Brittany Murphy story, with that one, I was just interning. You know, doing runs. And if people don't know what that is, that means interning means going in, pretty much volunteering your time. You know what I'm saying, to soak up some game.
Yeah.
And I mean, to me, it wasn't. I was still getting paid.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
It wasn't about the money for me. It was about the knowledge and the bridges that I've built
Connections.
since then, just being there with everybody. It's like, oh yeah, we already know. You know what I'm saying? So the Brittany Murphy, I was interning, and then later when we got to the Pimp C, I was recording. I was tracking.
crazy.
You know what I'm saying?
That's
so
tight.
I was recording. You know, we did like 3 or 4 songs, and Pimp C was only there for a night. You know what I'm saying? It was just
That's
a night.
crazy,
We're working,
bro. Yeah.
working,
Crazy.
smoking, drinking a little bit, and
Yeah.
getting it done.
So-
You know,
so-
making
so
So
records.
did you get your hands on the Sensual Seduction song from Snoop? You
Yeah, I did all the tracking on that. I did all the
What?
recording on that.
That's what's
so like the
up.
original tracking, I did that. And we actually did, I've never told nobody this. We actually did that, or on a podcast at least. We did that in an apartment building.
Really?
You know what I'm saying? We did that in Snoop was at it. He had an apartment, and he was like, Mike, I want to do this song. And I was like, we'll record you in the closet, bro. You got a bunch of shirts in there. We'll record you in
That's
the
what's
closet. We
up.
had a setup in the house, you know what
Yeah.
I'm saying? So,
That's dope, bro.
or in the apartment, we had a little setup.
That's
Small setup,
dope,
nothing big.
bro.
You know what I'm saying? Nothing big. And
Yeah,
it just
yeah,
ended
yeah.
up turning into one of the
I mean, we're
biggest
talking about the
songs.
biggest rapper probably of all
Legend,
time.
bro,
Like,
legend.
you know, probably the most popular rapper of all time.
Oh, for sure.
You know,
Yeah.
hands
For sure.
down. You know, that's crazy.
I
man.
mean, come on, man. Dude's on from the Olympics to Katy
Yeah, bro,
Perry.
he's
Yeah,
everywhere.
to everything.
Like, it's untouchable,
Stewart.
you know?
Yeah.
You know,
To-
Come on.
to even having his own little football team, you know, for
Oh,
youth.
yeah.
And that was, I think that's one of the bigger
Achievements.
achievements for
Achievements,
because
yeah,
when
bro.
you can bring it back to the community and the kids,
Exactly.
man, that's
Awesome,
when
bro.
you truly make
Awesome.
an
And,
impact.
Yeah,
you know?
that's
and a lot of those kids that were on his teams made it to the NFL.
They're in the
Yeah.
league.
Yeah,
Yeah,
they're in
those
the
are some
league.
league.
Beasting.
Yeah, bro.
league-
Beasting.
Yeah, champions.
Yeah.
Some of those
Yeah, bro.
dudes
They're
are,
making it.
have
They're making
Super
it.
Bowl rings.
Right, they're
That's
making it.
crazy.
Right. So you're an artist. You know what I mean? So you rap, you write, you produce, you engineer, and all that. What do you like more? You like being in the front, or do you like being?
I
in the
wish I
back
could
of-
just rap.
Yeah.
If I had
Really,
to
out of
pick,
everything?
yeah, if I had to pick, like if I had a team of, had an engineer and
All
a
set up for
produ-
you and
oh,
everything?
yeah, I would just rap.
That's
I
what's
would
up.
just, that's what brought all this along. You know, it started from just wanting to rap.
Yeah.
You know, so that's where it started from for me. So, and that's where kind of I am. You know, I think a lot of it's ate away at taking away from who I am as an artist. You know, is because I'm doing so. You know, got my hands in so many places. You know,
Yeah.
I'm wearing so many hats.
You're not just focused on on the
Right.
rapping. You're focused on doing this, doing that.
Yeah.
You know, that's
It
crazy.
takes you a lot of places.
Yeah.
But another thing too is the contradictory to that is if I didn't engineer, then that wouldn't have helped me out as an artist. You know, like
Yeah.
well, he worked for Snoop, so that that gives you
Right.
a little extra pull. I don't care what nobody says. You know what I'm saying? That's going to give you a little bit of an extra. Like,
course.
oh well, I want to tune into that now.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? Like, because what comes from that?
Yeah,
You know?
it was
Yeah,
like
you're
what
right.
you were with Snoop. Oh, I want to listen to this.
Right.
Exactly.
Yeah, that's crazy.
That's
Where did you get your name, Mike Storm? What inspired Storm?
My mom's wrestling name was Rio Storm.
Oh,
So I had a couple of different MC names before that, but when I was changing my name, and I was like, I want something that
unique.
is me,
Yes.
that has a solidity to it.
Right.
You know, something that has a story, something I can. When I talk about it, it makes me feel good about it.
Yeah.
And I'm like, what else can I do to not push on my mom's legacy? You know what I'm
Yeah,
saying?
yeah,
Like.
yeah.
We gonna push that on. So it's Mike Storm. And as soon as I picked it, she was like, I'm fucking with it. She was like, right away. Right away.
Hell yeah, that's what's
yeah.
up.
Me and Nesto talk about you all the time. We're like, man, he's a dope ass performer.
Hell yeah, bro.
Like you're a dope performer. And then But I always think, like, I wonder what he likes more. Does he like making the record, or do you like performing the record more?
Yeah, oh man, the live thing has always been a battle for me. Actually,
Really?
I used to hate performing.
Really?
Like when I first started making, like, all right, we're doing some shows, and I'm like, I hated it, And I think that just comes with I wasn't much, because I come from my mom
People
being
person,
a
huh?
celebrity,
Yeah.
not me. So when you have to step out into that spotlight and you're not so necessarily used to it, it's a little uncomfortable.
Yeah.
And so for me, it was very uncomfortable at first.
Yeah.
And then it turned into something that I loved.
Can't even
and
stop 'em.
Yeah, no, and it's a release. You know what I'm saying? It's like going to a therapist for me. You know what I'm saying? Like it's something that I can talk right now and nobody's gonna tell me shit.
Yeah.
There's no rebuttal. There's nothing
Yeah.
to say back. This is my moment to speak. You know what I'm saying? So I think as time went on, now I love it. I love performing.
yeah.
I love to get out
Yeah,
there.
you could tell that you like to
Yeah.
be and interact with the people.
Right.
You get the energy from them.
Yeah. Oh, I definitely do.
And it makes
I
the
definitely
performance
feed
even
off
better.
of it.
I like your vibe, bro.
Yeah.
The way you're rapping, you're expressing yourself.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? You're into it. That's what gets me, bro.
Yeah.
Thank you.
Every
Thank you.
time you perform at Touch Wells, man, this Mike Storm kills it, bro.
It's crazy
shit.
too, because I don't really
Shit,
get a lot
bro.
of feedback. I get people.
Yeah.
You killed it, but I don't really get like a lot of like true personal feedback of like,
You
hey,
kill it,
like
bro.
the presence is dope. So it feels good to hear that.
No,
you know?
you're doing everything that you're supposed to be doing, bro. You're
Hey,
just
we
killing
trying, baby. We trying.
it.
So was
Yeah.
there a certain like turning point for you, your solo career wise? Not really like on your, intern and all that stuff you were doing. Like, what was it? Was there like an album, a mixtape that happened for you that really started to launch the Mike Storm artist? Like did you have a project that really took off for you?
Nah, I kind of I got serious with music. Like there was a time I was just making music. Like, hey,
Yeah.
it's a hobby. We're having fun. And then there was a time that became like, yo, this can actually get serious. We can do something with our life with this. And I think during that time is kind of when everything shifted for me. And I wanted to just dive deeper into it. And that's when stuff kind of turned. So it turned for me. There was a time that J-Ro from the Alcoholics came to the Valley. And we were, I got serious. I was hanging around with my homie XP. Shout out to XP the Marksman. Shout out to Illward. Shout out to I Suppose, the Rhyme Addicts, that whole crew, man. I came up with them.
That's right.
And then, I was living in the Valley at the time, and J-Ro from the Licks was coming around, and he was like, yo, who's the hardest, like, who's the people we should be looking at, fucking with in the Valley right now? And my name came up. You know what I'm saying? So then there was like a tour thing popping called the Antics Tour. You know what I'm saying? Shout out to all my Antics homies. And when that came around, it was, like, hey, we're gonna audition some acts, we're gonna throw a couple shows, see how y'all perform, what's gonna happen? So I did the performance and knocked it out the park. And they're like, all right, we're going on tour. You got an album ready? And I was like, I don't have an album. I got some mixtapes, you know what I'm saying? I got some little smaller project, but I don't got an album. They're like, well, we're going on tour in this amount of time, have an album ready.
The Licks?
Yeah.
Damn.
So I had an not necessarily J-Ro, but just the team around, you know what I'm saying? But I went on tour with the Licks and with King T and E Swift and Tash, you know what I'm saying?
Oh my God.
So that was like kind of the start where I was just like, the reality snaps in.
Yeah.
That's like, yo, this
being around
this can really, 'cause
legends.
I
can
listen
really
to
blow
these,
up.
I listen to
Exactly.
them. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
Like, if you watch Friday, you listen to the Licks. You know what I'm
of
saying?
course.
Like,
we grew up listening to the Licks.
you
bro.
know,
King
so
T
it's
and
just
the
come on,
Licks.
so
Yeah.
it's just like, and they're like, well, we're fucking with you, but you got to be ready. I'm
Yeah.
like, all right. That's all I needed to
This
know.
is your
Yeah.
chance.
Yeah, that's all I need to know. Let's rock
So
it.
the Alcoholics, they're known for being party music.
Yes.
You know what I'm saying? Like they're a West Coast hip hop, but
Oh, for sure.
they're all about like that party energetics. So I can only imagine how a tour would be with the Licks.
That
So
was popping.
Yeah.
how was it being on tour with the Alcoholics, bro?
Alcoholics.
The name says it all. The name says it all.
Exactly. No, it's fun. I think just any tour is fun. I've done a lot of them with all different artists, whether it's super successful or just some cool underground stomping around, making noise artists, and it's always fun. I'm doing what I love, and I'm doing what I love based off writing my thoughts down and the shit that I believe in. So that is a blessing more than anything. You know what I'm
Yeah,
saying?
yeah.
Like I didn't have to go to a trade school to talk about what I've been through in life.
Right.
You know?
Yeah, yeah.
That was my trade school.
Yeah.
Living. You know what I'm
for
saying?
sure.
So,
Just the experience.
yeah, exactly.
I heard the music you did with the licks, and it's dope.
Yeah. Oh, I've had fun. Me and J-Ro had some, Tash, we've had some fun.
Tash is so
I got
dope.
some great unreleased stuff with the licks.
Oh, we gotta drop it.
Yeah, we gotta hear it.
I got some great,
Man, that is crazy.
I
because
definitely
love the
wouldn't be
licks.
where I am without them. You know what I'm saying? So super shout out to the Licks, Liquid Crew, Antics Crew.
Yeah,
you know,
yeah.
my
So you
dogs.
still got
Always.
the relationship with these guys and all
Always.
that?
Oh yeah.
They're like family
Always.
then.
Yes. Come on.
That's
yeah.
how it is. When you go on tour with a lot of these people, you build a camaraderie. You know what I mean? I mean, sometimes some people
Yeah,
have
yeah.
tension,
Yeah.
you know what I mean? But
It don't work for everybody.
yeah, it don't
that's
work for
true.
and tour life isn't for everybody.
No,
What
it's
is
not.
tour life for you? Do you like being on tour?
I love it. It's like moving into a different place every night. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
You just don't have to take all the furniture with you.
Yeah.
Hey, but you're not just doing in-state tours. Now you're doing, outside of state tours, right?
yeah.
Amsterdam and all. I see
Yeah,
you
I've
going to
done a lot
Amsterdam.
of. I've done like 10 international tours.
And how are those tours,
Those
bro?
are amazing. Amazing.
So between the two, which one would you rather do?
Definitely overseas.
Overseas,
yeah,
right?
because because overseas they look at you guys more of like the
Oh my-
the
oh my
biggest thing ever
God.
than the States do, right?
I don't think it's that. I think they appreciate the music more.
More, right?
You know what I'm saying? I think they love the music more. Like, even if they don't know you, you know what I'm saying? Like, as long as your shit is tight, as long as you get down, as long as you got a good performance, they're rocking with you.
Get the crowd going.
Yeah, they're rocking with you. So I think, like, if I had to pick or choose, I'm definitely going on a 30-day international tour. You know, it's just more into it. And they're not the same too. Like the festivals, they're not full of security. The cops in Denmark, it could be 100,000 people, and they're not running around with guns.
They're just
And
chilling.
No, you could show up with your own flat of beer and 2 bottles of Hennessy
They
and
tripping.
walk right in with your wristband on.
What?
Like, yeah, we're getting
That's
turned
dope.
up.
Yeah,
Yeah,
that's
we're getting
dope.
turned up.
It's
And-
just different. The
The
culture
yeah,
vibe's
is
it's just a
different.
different
The culture.
vibe. It's just
Yeah.
a different
It
vibe.
ain't like
yeah.
over here, bro.
They sometimes it's too much. You know what I'm saying? Like, we trying to have fun, bro. You taking the fun away from it all.
Yeah.
Yeah, that is dope. See, I grew up. My dad was a musician,
Right.
so my dad toured all over the world my whole life.
Sick.
So he would come home. I was a little kid. He would come home with pictures and videos of like Indonesia and Tokyo and Italy, bro. And I'm just like, dang, like you were like in a whole different world.
Yeah.
Hey, bro, his dad came home with a
That's crazy.
a dart gun
Yeah, bro.
Tranquilize this fool.
from a tribe,
It's
bro.
Mimi's time.
Hey, from a tribe, bro.
Yeah, and I don't know how he snuck it in because you can't sneak that in, right? But he brought it in one time and it was long. It was a,
Yeah,
it was,
it's like,
it
you
was
can't
a,
get
it was
that
a
through
dart
customs.
gun
That's
that was like
crazy.
this
Hey,
big,
bro, and he had the actual darts, bro.
but they were
shit.
poison darts.
Yeah, I remember. That's the
So
one
we would take
thing
it to
I
the
remember,
backyard.
bro.
We would put a big ass cardboard in the back and we would just shoot it.
I thought we were shooting at the homies and shit.
Hell no, you know what I'm saying?
That's the one thing I remember when I first met Joel. Was that
Yeah.
when I went over his house, and that was the first thing he showed me was a
That
dart.
big ass dartboard.
He's like, check this shit out, bro. I'm like,
And it was
what is
carved
that,
like a
bro?
dragon. It was carved like hand carved as a dragon.
Yeah.
So it looked
all
like
wood,
crazy.
bro. I'm like, what
Crazy.
is that? He's like, oh, my dad got it from when he went to tours.
I think, it was a different time then too, so it was probably a lot easier to get shit
yeah,
through
and that was
customs
before
than it is
9/11.
now.
Yeah, that was before 9/11.
They don't have all
you know what
these
I'm saying?
X-ray machines.
Yeah,
and
yeah,
shit,
yeah.
Now they
you
got
know,
all these
like,
regulations and shit.
Yeah,
You
yeah,
can't
there's
do
a
this,
lot.
can't do that.
But I just
Get
remember.
butt naked before you go there.
yeah, but I just remember him.
Search.
I just remember him coming home and him just being like, "You guys didn't. You guys wouldn't believe what I saw out there."
Yeah.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? And I could. That's why when I see you doing your thing, I'm like, man, you're
He's doing it.
experiencing things, with your music.
Right.
It's not like you're just going to visit. You're going out there to do your music. That's a hell of a feeling to have.
It's a super hell of a feeling.
That's
And
crazy, man.
I've definitely spent time in each and every place just to sit there and be like, yo, is this really
Like, where am I? Look where I'm
this is
at.
crazy.
You know,
Am I in a
That's
dream?
You don't get it, like when you don't, until you do it, you don't understand it.
Right.
You know what I'm saying? And then there's that moment when you do it and you're like, yo, this shit's happening. And then you have that just adrenaline rush
Yeah,
after
you say-
too, like, oh hell yeah, I just did that.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying?
That was
Like,
me. That was
it feels
me.
good. It definitely
what's
feels
up,
good,
bro.
especially just coming from places when you don't think it's gonna happen, you know what I'm saying? Or you don't know what course your life is gonna take, because we were talking about me being, I was a little asshole when I was a kid. I thought I had it all figured out, like all typical teenagers and kids.
Yeah.
Yeah,
I was just
yeah,
like,
yeah.
no, fuck that. And I'm gonna do this, and
Yeah.
I'm gonna skip school, and I'm gonna, but
So where does an entrepreneur part of you come from? Like, did you learn that being around? Because like you said, you were around people like Snoop, the Licks, like the way that they were in the professional, business. Like, where did you learn the branding and marketing and all that? Because your shit is like on point. You know what I'm saying? So like, where did you gain that from?
I think just like earlier, a combination of everything. Like just a little bit of, moms being a wrestler. She had, 8x10s that she would sell at her merch booth, and T-shirts she would sell, and autographs, and take pictures with people. And then, to the Licks, seeing, all right, well, they got their merch, and, Snoop, well, it's branding. This has to look right. This has to look good. We got to drop this way. So I think that's just a full-on, just meatball of everything that I've been through.
Yeah.
That kind of taught me that. But as a youngster, I want to say like 14, 15 years old, just trying to work. I wasn't, out playing around. I was, where can I make some money? I want to go do some stuff. You know what I'm saying? Like, yeah.
Get that paper.
So little by little, it just turned into, I worked in strip clubs for 10 years. I was a strip club DJ, so announcing all the girls and, so that's money. You know what I'm saying? That's a hustle, but I think it's just a combination of everything that's turned me into like, and I don't like to listen to many motherfuckers. I've gotten fired from a lot of jobs because I don't take
Direction.
I take great direction. I don't take treating somebody like an asshole to give me direction the right way. You know what I'm saying? I have no problem trying to figure out the best way to do something. I have a problem figuring out that it's your best way to do something. You know what I'm saying?
I don't want to listen to the man. I want to be the man.
Right? Yeah, not necessarily, but kind of that. It's just. A lot of people are condescending, or they make you think that this is how something has to be done, and that's not necessarily the case. Because I've done a lot in my life that was against the way shit was supposed to be done. I'm like, well, but I did it this way, and it worked great.
Yeah. Hey, you guys, I think it's time for shots fired.
Let's go.
Let's go.
Shots fired. We in here like
swimwear.
Shots fired. Shots.
Hey, don't worry. Okay.
Ain't no shots coming in, bro.
All right, so shots fired. Nesto, this is his thing.
Okay.
And he likes to turn it into a positive thing. Shots fired, you're talking shit.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying?
Shots fired.
No, but Nesto, he wants to make it more.
We're doing a positive thing. We give a shout out to whatever it is. Any success you've done, somebody that you want to give a shout out, some flowers to, whatever. It could be anything.
Shouts fired. Shouts fired.
Shouts fired.
I'm with that.
Where are the drinks? Who got the drinks?
They're right here. All right. I'll go first. My shout out goes to all the artists that are trying to come up. That's going through the struggle. Them taking your example. Came up from wanting to be an artist, seeing your mom going through all her careers to becoming a good artist, bro. And you're still pushing, bro. So I give all shout out to all the people that are trying to make it.
Hell yeah.
Yes, sir.
It's a good one.
So this goes out to all the entrepreneurs and all the hustlers. Shout out to DJ Toro. Thanks for the constructive criticism, my boy.
Keeping it funky,
Keeping it funky.
Let's go.
So my shot's gonna go out to my nephew over here, right? 15 years old, talented as hell, could sing, could dance his ass off, can write, can rap. Super, super talented. But what I'm most proud of him is that he's got a good head on his shoulders.
There we go.
Because when I was 15, I was wild. I was in the streets right here, in these streets, literally right here, and I was not doing what he was doing. I was doing some other shit. And just the fact that he is focusing on what he feels, what he loves to do, and he wants to go big, and he wants to do it right, my shot goes out to my nephew, J-So, right here. You know what I'm saying? So, yeah, man. So, there we go.
I'm going to send mine out to just, my family, my grandma P, my grandma Pat, she just passed away.
Oh,
so,
sorry,
first and foremost, that's going to be the grandma P. You know what I'm saying? Shout out to every volume or person that just believed in what I've done. You know what I'm saying? Any platform, like here at the Chop Shop, hanging out with y'all.
hell
You know what I'm
yeah.
saying? Shout out
Appreciate
to
that.
each and every one of you.
you.
Without people listening, without people watching, without any of that, we're nothing. You know what I'm saying? So shout out to everybody that listens. Shout out to my people overseas. Shout out to my people in the States. Shout out to the HD. Shout out to the local bars. Shout out to the
Hey.
local talent, because without any of that, we're nobody. You know what I'm
right.
saying?
Exactly.
So, you know, it's an anthill, baby.
That's
You know,
right.
and there's
Right.
plenty of us on this anthill, and we're rocking
Yeah.
together, and we're digging, and we're making some sort of maze and a place for us to live. So
Exactly.
that's where my
Hey,
shot's gonna
shout
go
out.
to.
Cheers.
man.
Cheers.
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 Hey.
So you brought up the HD. What brought you to the HD? Cause we're talking about you being with the Licks.
My
and
girl
Snoop
brought me out here. man.
Really?
Shout out to
Shout
my
out to
girl
the girl.
Christine.
Hey,
My girl
Great
brought me out
choice.
here.
No.
Yeah.
Yes.
She, my girl, grew up out here next to the Air Force Base when the military was still here. You know what I'm saying? So we were staying in Simi Valley, and shit is hella pricey in Simi Valley. You know,
Yeah,
she was
yeah,
like,
yeah.
for what we're paying here, we could damn near live
Mansion.
on a
You get
in
a
a
mansion.
spot. You know,
Acres
up in
and
the,
all, you
yeah,
get an acre and all
Yeah,
that.
so let's go check it out. And so we came up here, we checked out a few spots, and I was like, yeah, you ain't lying.
Wow.
You know,
Yeah.
like, you know, so at my spot, I got a whole studio area. I can be loud as I want. I can bring my drummer friends, my musicians over. We can be as loud as we please, you know. So once that opened up that gate for me, I was just like, oh, I'm with it. You know,
You're in.
I'm in all the way, because it just
Yeah.
opens. There's no, you know, the possibilities are
opportunity.
endless. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
There's no, and to this day, the cops haven't knocked on my door. I've been up here
what's
about 9 years now.
Yeah,
You know what I'm
yeah.
saying?
That's
And
what's up.
I could have full-on drummer. We have a band at my crib. No issues. 4 in.the morning. You know,
Hey.
we're making records. So
Hey, they might want your autograph when they knock on your
know.
door,
Oh,
bro. Like, what,
shit.
Mike Storr? Hey, bro.
run. No.
Run.
hell yeah.
Mike, I'm
what's
curious. I love your look. It's unique. It's different. What made you dye your hair different? What's the backstory on that?
So I was just like bald headed for, you know what I'm saying? Like, I don't know, 10, 15 years. It was easy, you know? I don't
gotta wake up
gotta
and
pay
brush your
nobody
hair.
for a
You
haircut.
didn't have to
I don't
comb
gotta
it.
wait.
Yeah, hell
Done.
yeah.
Roll out of bed, you know what I'm saying? We're on the move.
Ready to go.
And then I was just like, you know, I want to do something different.
Yeah.
It just came to me. I wanted to do something different. And at that time, I was going to Vegas a lot, you know, so I just did a little mohawk at first, you know, Chuck Liddell style.
Yeah.
You know what I'm
Iceman.
saying? Yeah. So I was like, I held that down and it just kept growing and grow, you know,
Yeah.
just grew it out. And then this is where we at. And then I dyed it a bunch of different colors. But one night I was in Vegas and I had green hair at the time. And so I think I was there for like 2-3 nights, you know what I'm saying? And I got the next morning, woke up, what's up, God? And I was like, yo, what? And then so it was
Got a lot of
everybody
attention.
from
Everybody
it
knew
was
it.
everybody
Everybody knew you.
from the dealers to the people that worked the counters to
Security.
other people that were there gambling. Everybody remembered me from the night. I was just like,
Oh,
Yeah.
green
oh
it
yeah,
is.
we gonna run that.
That's
We're
your
gonna run that.
trademark.
Green it is.
Yeah.
We're gonna run it. You know what I'm saying?
And then
Like,
what better color? Green is the color of money.
yeah, and marijuana, baby.
That's
Yeah.
right.
Yeah, bro.
Hell yeah.
And success
Yeah,
and
that's right.
prosperity. You know what I'm saying? Yeah. Green,
It's a
green
earth
means a
sign.
lot of
It's an earth
things.
color.
You know what I'm
That's
saying?
right. That's right. Yeah, one of the things that we really love about you, man, is like you said, you came out here to the desert, but you took advantage in a good way. Like you came here, and you know you started performing everywhere, but then you give back to the community. That is a big thing that we really like about you, man. Because like big plus. Because you're out here doing your thing with the music, but you also are so quick to give back to the community out here, which this community really needs that, you know. And I just want to tell you, you know, we appreciate that, bro. You know what I'm saying?
I thank you
Yeah,
for
appreciate it,
recognizing
bro.
that, man. I do it mostly because without the community, I'm nobody. Like
Right.
it goes
Yeah.
back to saying, without listeners and without eyes, I'm nobody.
Right.
You know, so for me to go anywhere, you know, when I'm in other countries, if they're doing stuff, I have done charities in Christiania, Denmark, in Copenhagen. I've done events. You know, I don't like to go places and take without giving. You know what
Yeah.
I'm saying? So I mean, you know, and we definitely need it up here. There's
Yeah.
a lot
Yeah.
going on up here in the high desert. There's a lot of homelessness.
Yes.
There's a lot of kids that are in need. There's just a lot of social counseling and just, you know, people to believe in something. You know what I'm saying?
Right.
Kids need to believe in something. They need to know it's possible for
Yeah.
any one of us to do anything we believe in.
And it inspires people, especially the youth.
Yeah, well, I think it inspires me the most.
Yeah.
Like when I'm out there with these people learning their stories, that inspires me.
Exactly.
You know what I'm saying? Like it makes me feel grateful. You know what I'm saying? Like look at the position you're in. You know, it gets my brain working and my gears going. Like I could totally be somewhere else in life. You know what I'm saying? So
definitely.
I will always and forever give back because without the community giving to me, I'm nothing.
That's right.
That's right.
That's
That's
right.
I'm absolutely nothing.
It is impossible.
Hell
that, bro.
yeah, man. Big up to that. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah, it's crazy because me and Joel's always say, you know, when we were growing up, there wasn't anything up here for the youth. That's why I think a lot of the people that we grew up with or around our age got into a lot of shit back then.
Right.
Because there was no community stuff for us.
Right.
So that's why me and Joel, we always try to do something back for the community, like the kick push for the kids event.
Yep.
You know, the homeless.
Yep.
You know, we try to do something to you know.
Well, you guys ain't trying. You're doing it. You
Yeah.
know what I'm saying? And I think that just goes back to because when you were a kid, you understood that wasn't happening here.
Yeah,
So
we
the
didn't
way
have
to
nothing.
change that, was we're proactive.
Yeah.
We take the steps to do for what we believe in and what we want to happen around here. You know what I'm saying? Like, and I want kids to believe that they can do anything. I want them to believe that there's not just one option. You know what I'm
Yeah.
saying?
See, I like having like my nephew come around because being around artists like you, because yeah, you got the talent and all that, but like we talked about earlier, you're all about professionalism too and quality. Because I watch your videos are off the chain, bro. Like, you know what I'm saying? They're different, but they're good. They're like good quality videos. So I've watched Watch Me.
There we go.
I've watched Mosh Pit.
My girl shot Watch Me. Shout out to my girl.
Really?
7 different countries. She held that
Big up,
down.
big up to that one right there. All right. No, that looked good.
She shot that, yeah. That iPhone be working wonders, baby.
Hey, I seen the Norman Bates video.
Yes.
Crazy.
Big Lyric. Shout out to Big Lyric.
Yeah, bro. Like, you know, I seen the one with the licks.
Yep.
You know what I mean? And I'm like, see, this is what I'm talking about. This guy takes his craft serious.
Yeah.
You know what I
Right.
mean? Because some people, they're just kind of doing little stuff, but like, nah, you got like gimmicks and storylines and all that stuff. So I got to talk about, what is the video that you did where you're like in the dunes or something like that? What is that one?
Mosh Pit.
Mosh Pit.
In Mosh
Bro,
Pit.
was that
that was in Lucerne Valley at the
Okay,
dry
it was
lake
Lucerne.
beds, like where they
Lucerne
shoot,
Valley.
where they do the rocket testing. Like,
Yeah.
like
Yeah.
NASA has like a lake
Yeah.
bed out there.
Yeah.
But as long as they're not doing shit, you could run out. So we just ran out there and had a little bit of fun for a day.
But was that inspired by Mad Max?
Mad Max?
Oh, I love
I definitely
Mad
went Mad Max. I was like, yo,
California Love.
I'm out here. Yeah, definitely Tupac too. California Love
yeah.
for sure. You know, so I was like, I'm out here in the desert. I'm gonna take advantage of, you know, and that's always me. Like if you're in that position, don't make it harder for yourself. If you're looking to do something or you want to make something different, or you know, you can do it right where you're at. You just got
Right
to
in
be
your
creative
backyard.
enough. You know what I'm saying? Like, it's right here.
Yeah,
It's
right in your
here.
backyard, bro.
Yeah.
You know, a
don't
lot of
need to
people
go
make
far.
movies and do videos out here in the high desert. 'cause
Yeah,
of
Post
the
Malone,
scenery.
White Iverson
Yeah.
was shot in the same spot. You
Yeah,
know what I'm
man.
saying? It's Joshua, a lot of Joshua Tree is
Shanti.
happening. I think someone big just did a huge video out here. that-
Ashanti did one too.
Yeah. No, I'm talking like recent, like literally in the last 2 weeks. A big female artist, I forget who it is. She just dropped like a big high
Up here?
desert. Yeah. Like you can tell. Like if you're not
You're
from
from up here,
not
you-
from up here, but if you've been up here
Yeah,
long enough,
you know where it's at.
like, oh,
that's
that's right
down the
there.
street.
Yeah,
Yeah.
exactly.
It's around
You
the
know?
corner.
So,
See, I like when the artists like step out of their comfort zone or they think outside the box with their videos. Like growing up, bro, I was a fan of Missy Elliott's videos.
Yeah.
Or Busta Rhymes
Yeah,
videos. You know how they were
Rhymes.
like, wow,
yeah, I
you
used to
crazy?
love Buster. Yeah.
Yeah.
When he's sitting in the yard, he's sitting in the yard playing with a beach ball. Yeah.
With the bag.
You have the glasses
Yeah.
next
The
door.
trash
I
bag.
can't stand the rain.
Yeah.
Yeah, bro.
But, you know, to some people it was like weird to some people, but really,
Yeah, I grew up
it's,
to that shit.
It's just creative. You know what I mean? Because I always feel like you got to have the music, or the video has to match the music.
Yeah.
You know what I mean?
Right.
And I feel like you're really good at that with your stuff because you have a distinctive sound to your music. So the video's got to match.
Right. It has to. I feel like it has to coordinate, but that's also sometimes can be like the crutch of it because it's just like, all right, I can't do a video unless it's gonna be perfect.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying?
Right.
And then you do a video like Mosh Pit, and they're like, nah, I gotta follow that up.
Yeah.
It's got to be big or bigger.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying?
Now you got to beat that.
One up on-
Yeah.
That's true.
You know,
Once you set the bar,
I
and
set
that's
myself.
it.
Well, I set myself to that standard.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying?
And what's
'Cause
next?
We don't go backwards. You know
People
what
are
I'm
just
saying?
sitting there like,
Moving
what's
forward.
next? Well,
Right.
what is he gonna come out next? That one was dope.
Mosh Pit was dope. Yeah, Mosh Pit was
Yeah,
a
that
sick.
one was crazy.
Yeah.
The Norman Bates one was crazy, bro.
Norman Bates was nuts. Yeah, we did that one. Yeah, that Norman Bates
that
was
was
nuts.
tight.
Yeah.
That was tight.
See, that's tight, man. So, do you get inspired? Like, what inspires you to make me? Do you like just films, like movies, like? Cause I'm an artist myself. You know what I mean? I like to draw. I'm a DJ. I do all kinds of shit. I'm an artist.
Right.
But I'm inspired by so many things, bro. I watch a movie and I get inspired, or I listen to music, I get inspired, or like whatever it is. What inspires you to be creative?
I think like when I listen to the songs and I kind of like first for my head it's like what fits. You know what I'm saying? Like where are we?
You see colors?
Where
You
are
see
we in the
colors
realm
and all
of the
that?
world? Like what direct, you know, because there's so many places you can go. You know, so I think that's for me, that's the first step. And then it's like listening to the music and trying to portray what's being said to now being seen. You know what I'm saying?
Make it come to life.
Yeah, exactly. Like,
Yeah.
So it's taking music and turning it into a movie, which is not an easy thing to do. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
Like, you can write a song, but then turning it into what you see in your head. You know, Mosh Pit is one of those videos. Norman Bates is one of the, like, that was what I had. That was the vision there. I was like, yo, I want to do this. I want to do this. I want to do this. And then just also having the right person that's going to shoot, you know what I'm saying? And somebody that's going to understand your vision.
Yeah, that can
You know
match your
exactly.
creativity as well.
Exactly. Because
Yeah.
nobody's in one, I'm not rowing this boat by myself. That's
Right.
for sure.
Yeah,
You know?
it's a collective of people
For sure.
to make a project.
Yep.
You know what I mean? Just like this chop shop, we do this together.
Right.
Like this is everything you see here or we have done thus far. That's been all of us.
Yeah.
You know what I
Yeah.
mean? Because his input matters, her input matters, my input matters. Like his idea, her idea, you got to put it together to create a good product.
Yep.
It's hard to do it by yourself.
Oh, it is.
Because when I see you, man, I'm like, man, he does everything. He designs shirts. He's
Everything.
Like, and I'm like, man, are you doing this all by
Produces your own
yourself,
stuff.
bro?
Me and my girl.
Wow.
90% of the time.
Hey,
Yeah,
big
we
up
run
to
into
her,
that.
man. You know what
Yeah.
I'm saying? Because you know you need that partner. We talk about that all the time.
That's
on
strong
the
backbone.
She's solid. Nah, she's solid, man. And that's definitely a lot of my success. You know what I'm saying? It's just, you have to have, if you're going to be in a relationship and you're going to have, she understands it. You know what I'm saying? She understands some of the parts of the fact that people are going to be coming up to me and she could be saying something and she could get cut off in 2 seconds because somebody wants to tell me something that could just be irrelevant to anything that's going on. You know what I'm saying?
Right.
But she understands it. She doesn't take it negatively.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? So, I mean.
And it's a
that-
business. You know what I
yeah,
mean? Like
it
people,
definitely is a business.
Yeah, people gotta, learn how to, don't take things personal. Business is business. And after the business is over, you can go back to being close or
unfortunately,
friends
a
or
lot of
family,
people don't know
whatever it
what that
is,
is.
you know what I mean?
Exactly.
You know what I'm saying?
Now, cool question, Storm. I know you smoke weed, right?
Just a little bit.
Just like everything is an art, bro. Do you get more inspired, or does your mind get like? Does it
Stimulate.
stimulate? Or not? Yeah. Does it like? Do you think outside the box when you're a little higher, or when you're sober?
I mean, I'm not sober much.
See,
Oh, that answers the question
If
right
we're
there.
talking about weed,
There you go.
making you not sober, you know what I'm saying? Then I'm definitely not sober much. I mean, I wake up in the morning, I brush my teeth, and I'm
Wake and
smoking.
bake, wake and
you know
bake.
what I'm saying? So it's just like, it's just who I am. It's part of
that's cool though.
of me as a person. I think it's not only creativity. I think it's also, for my mental health. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
For myself, it
it
just
clear.
helps me relax a little bit.
Well, more props to you because
Yeah.
I tried to do that shit and it just put my ass to sleep.
It ain't for everybody.
Yeah, it is not for me, bro.
everybody, Yeah.
I
I
think
tried
it
that.
depends what kind of strain it is, though.
Yeah, for sure. But
Yeah.
also,
Yeah,
weed,
it is, it
It doesn't
weed
help
just
me.
ain't for everybody.
Yeah,
you
it
know?
ain't.
I've had
Right.
they panic.
Everybody.
Yeah.
I'm gonna give you a free get out of jail card today. You better leave me alone.
Now,
Hell nah. We're talking about wrestling. Slam this food through the couch.
You know what my favorite wrestler was from WWF? The Ultimate Warrior.
There we go. Let's go.
now, what would be your advice to any coming up artists like Jay? I mean, what would be your advice now that you're at where you're at? Everything you've been through, all these people that you work with. What would be your advice to somebody that's trying to, get to where you're at?
Keep going.
No matter
Keep
what.
going.
Never
Keep
give
pushing.
up.
You're going to go through a lot. You're going to go through a lot of things you didn't think you were going to go through. You're going to be questioned a lot. You're going to be battled a lot. People are going to fight you a lot. People are going to tell you you're right. People are going to tell you you're wrong. People are going to tell you yes just because they want to hang around you. People are going to tell you no just because they don't like you.
Yeah.
Push. Do what you love. Believe in yourself.
And what
That's
about
all it takes.
what about reminding yourself why you even did it in the first place?
That's a whole different battle.
See what I'm saying? Like
Because it
the
comes back
love.
and forth.
Yeah.
Especially when the success comes into it, you know? Especially because when you start doing it, you're doing it for, I need somebody to hear me.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And then when people start hearing you, then
Then
I need them to hear
Then
me
it
louder.
changes. Yeah.
Yeah.
I need, you know, so I think it's
It changes. It changes.
Yeah, and it should. Nothing. Don't get too stagnant. You know, I tell my girl all the time. I tell people I really love. Don't get comfortable.
Yeah.
You know, I think comfortable is a place of complacency,
Yes.
and letting yourself be okay with whatever it is. You
Yeah.
know what
When
I'm saying?
you get comfortable, you don't really move up from there.
Exactly.
Yeah.
You just settle. You stay. You mean you don't want to experience anything outside from what you know already. That's what we. I'm a mechanic, so I work at a dealership. So that's the first thing they tell us. Like, we have training, so they tell us don't just get comfortable where you're at.
Right.
Always expand to what other things you can do and know.
I feel like it doesn't, like we were talking about Snoop, right? How big he is, right?
Yeah.
I mean, he never got comfortable.
Right.
To the Olympics. Like you're on the
Look at him.
That's a world stage. To go
Exactly.
from murder is a case to beating the whole to being on that is
Be at the Olympics.
International.
every
Damn.
spectrum you could cover. That is
Yeah.
every spectrum. And if that doesn't push you to be whoever the hell you want to be in
That's
life,
crazy.
no matter what negative decisions you make or the positive decisions you make or anything you've been through, that is like tells you it's
Right.
possible
Oh, he's
for
gone
any of
far,
us.
bro.
Yeah,
For
I
any
feel
of us, you know what I'm saying? Like there's no boundaries, you know.
If music gets taken out of the equation for Mike Storm, what is Mike Storm gonna do?
I'm cooking, baby.
Really?
I'm cooking.
So that's another passion of yours.
Oh, I'm in the kitchen.
Okay.
That's
I'm
what's
in the
up.
kitchen.
Okay.
Little chef.
Shake and bake.
Chef
Big
Mike
chef.
Storm.
Big chef
Mike
Storm or D. You
What's
know?
up with those, what's up with those Philly cheesesteaks, bro?
Come on.
Yeah.
Nah, cooking is definitely like a big
Okay.
passion for me.
What's your favorite dish that you make?
There's too many. I can't even pick one.
Damn, like that, huh?
I can't even pick one. I love cooking, and I cook every kind of food. You know what
That's
I'm saying?
right.
What's up?
Like when I went to Bangkok, I went to cooking. Like that was one of my things. What do we do? I'm going to cooking classes.
Nice.
Oh wow.
You know what I'm saying? And I went to learn how to make curries from scratch. And
Damn.
you know what I'm saying? Like
Come back home and do that here.
yeah,
That's
exactly.
what's up. That's
yeah.
what's
So
up.
yeah, cook for sure. Cooking,
That's tight, man.
whipping.
That's
Where does
tight.
Mike
Damn.
Storm see himself in the next few years?
Mike Storm doesn't know.
He goes with the wind.
I really don't have no idea. I don't live, you know, too far in the future,
I see
or
that
too
tattoo.
or too far in the past. You know what I'm saying? Like I'm living, I'm enjoying what's going on. I kind of feel like I trap myself if you do that. You know what I'm saying? Like if
Yeah.
you live too far in the past, or you set an expectancy, and then I'll just disappoint myself if it didn't go the way I expected.
Yeah.
So I really don't, you know, I focus on my goals. I work, you know, and the goal is to do what I love and live off of it. And I'm doing that. So the goal is working. So I don't really want to change too much.
You really don't think about
You know?
that.
Yeah.
I think the biggest thing for me is just more music, more music,
Yeah.
more
Yeah.
music, more music, more music.
Keep creating.
Yeah, that's it.
You're a creator.
Yeah.
You just want to keep creating.
Yeah,
You know what I'm
that's
saying?
it. I don't
Yeah.
really put too much weight on it
Yeah.
because I feel like it's just detrimental.
Yeah. Yeah.
And that comes from the past of me learning for who I am as
Yeah.
a person.
Yeah.
For somebody else, it might be different, but for who I am, we moving on. You know what I'm
Hell
saying?
yeah, hell
Life
yeah.
goes on.
Well, before we let you go, where can people find your music? Where can they find your videos? Like, what's your plug, man? Plug everybody into what you got going on.
MikeStormMusic.com. That'll lead you everywhere. That'll
There
lead
it
you
is.
to Instagram. That'll lead you to Twitter. That'll lead you X. My bad. That'll lead you to Facebook. That'll lead you to the IGiveNoFucks.com website if you want to cop a hat.
Yep.
You know, that'll
Yeah.
lead you to my YouTube, Mike Storm TV. So whatever you want to find, where you know, or if you want to hit me on all social platforms at I am Mike Storm. IAMMIKESTOR. M.
That's
Baby, let's
right.
go.
That's right.
That's
So
right.
we appreciate you, man. Like we said, we've been wanting to do this for literally since day one, like for real. And it just so
I remember.
and it just so happened that you are our last interview for the first season of the Chop Shop.
Yeah.
So I made it in the first
Yes,
one.
you
made
did.
it,
You
bro.
made it in the first round.
You made it, bro.
Let's go.
So I'm so glad that you were able to come through, man, and to
Yeah.
share some of your story, bro. And it's definitely inspirational, man. It really is.
And I appreciate you. Thank you, Jules. Thank you,
Yeah,
Queen.
man.
Thank you,
Thank you.
Nesto, man. Thank you to the
Yeah,
Chop
bro.
Shop.
It's an
Thank you to the
hon-
HD.
Yes.
It's an
Thank you
honor
for the
having
shots.
you here,
know
bro.
what I'm
It
saying?
is.
Well, you know what, man?
It feels
let's
good
make
to
some
be
noise
here.
for Mike
Yeah.
Storm.
Yeah.
We finally got him. We got him.
Yeah. Can't believe it, bro.
We really
Yeah.
did.
We got him. We hooked him.
And we always tell people, like, this isn't a one and done. We want
Yeah.
you to come back on the show.
Yeah.
Let's do
You
it.
know what I'm
We tell
saying?
everybody, bro. Once you come,
Yes.
once you come to the chop
family.
shop, you're already family, bro.
Yeah.
You've been
Yeah,
family,
yeah,
but once
yeah.
you come to the chop
Yeah.
shop, you're always family, bro.
Yeah, come
sure.
back.
So-
Because when you come back as a return guest, we hang your Chop Shop jersey in the rafters, bro.
Yes.
You
There
know
we
what I'm
go.
saying? The Hall of Fame of the Chop Shop. You know what I mean?
My life's fun, so we'll have some more to talk about.
Yes,
You know what I'm saying?
Hell yeah. Big shout out to Rafa Productions, yo.
Shout out to Rafa.
Yeah.
Hell
Rafa
yeah,
Productions.
man. The hottest place to do any type of content if you want to get creative is right here at Rafa Production Studios. You guys already know, man. So yes, this is the final season. No, not the final season. The first season
Yes.
of the Chop Shop. And second season is going to be even bigger and better. Because like Mike said, I ain't stopping, man. We just
Let's
keep going.
Stay in
man.
motion,
no
baby. Stay in
stopping
motion.
us
Yeah, hell yeah. So big shout out to Urban Soul TV. You can catch us on YouTube, Fire Stick TV, Roku TV, Apple TV.
and then for any followers that are
Yes.
following us, you can follow us at High Def Entertainment.
Yes.
Our Chop Shop page got hacked, so just follow us on High Def Entertainment, or you can follow us on DJ Joel's, Queen G, or DJ Nesto. You find all our content there. So yeah, stay tuned.
Yeah, man. Just
go.
please give us, some likes, some subscribes, comment, like it, don't like it. I give no fucks, just like Mike
go.
Trump says. You know
Me
what I'm saying?
neither.
But hell yeah, man. But yeah, once again, thank you, Mike Storm. But we out of here, y'all. Peace.